Hi and welcome to the Financial Fox. Today we will be exploring the mysterious area where tech shapes what it means to be human, pushing our biological limits toward places we have only seen in the movies. We are about to be joined by Manel Muñoz. Probably not many of you have heard of him, but for those in the cyborg world, he's a household name. Manel is a perceptual cyborg artist from Barcelona, best known for developing and installing a cybernetic sensory organ that can allow his body to perceive changes in atmospheric pressure. So basically, he can predict the weather. Hi Manel, welcome to the Financial Fox. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super good.
Well, it's a real pleasure to have you here to discuss something a bit different and even controversial, the new frontiers that tech can offer to humanity. So first of all, it would be great if you could explain a bit about yourself, your background, and what made you choose to become a cyborg artist.
Yeah, so I started 2 years ago. I was studying photography and I started being like super into the cyborg topic. I started exploring the topic through different photographic projects, but there was a day when I decided to start exploring the topic through my own body. So I decided to become a real cyborg instead of just photographing them. So basically I asked for some advices to my other friends, Neil Harbison and Moon Rivers, that they were already cyborgs. And yeah, they gave me some advices to start creating my new cybernetic body part. And because I see this as the process of becoming a cyborg and creating my senses and my organs, I see them as an artistic project and an artistic process. So I like to define myself as a cyborg artist because I see the process of becoming a cyborg as an art.
Okay, Manel, maybe could you tell us how exactly your barometric organ works? I mean, how do you actually perceive the atmospheric changes?
So I perceive it through beats at different speeds inside my skull. And basically, it's a chip that is installed at the back of my head.
Oh, right, okay,
As
we
you
can
see,
see
I
it.
guess.
Yeah, we can. Is that painful?
And then no, it's not painful. No, it's not. It's like this is a visible part, but then there's like a metal structure behind the hair.
Okay.
That is like doing possible the installation, basically. And this is pushing into my skull a couple of motors that gives me this input. Then I feel this input through beats at different speeds. And depending on the speed on these beats, I perceive the intensity of the weather, or in other words, the atmospheric pressure, if it's high or if it's low.
Okay, so it's a tech device, so I believe that you have to charge it. I mean, how does it charge? How does it work?
Exactly. Now I need to plug myself into the wall, or I plug myself into the laptop. So now I'm very united with my laptop.
Yeah, I think the laptop is a bit better.
Yeah, it's better, because otherwise it feels like a dog. In like sustaining. Yeah.
Listen, are you able to connect this organ with, for example, would you be able to connect it with a mobile or an Apple Watch, or, you know, would that be possible?
Yeah, I think it would be possible, not with mine, I guess, because by the moment it's just the second one prototype, and it's kind of basic in terms of electronics. So I think the application is the thing that surprises people, but at the end it's just like electronics that you can get for 40 euros. So it's not that expensive thing or super extra electronic stuff. It's more because the application, because no one applies a barometric or weather sensor in their head. So I think it's more because the application than for the cost of these electronics. But yeah, anyway, the possibility is there. So depending on how you want to design your organ, in my case, I prefer just to have the experience for myself and don't connect it to another I don't know, like elements or devices, let's say this. But yeah, there's a if you started creating your body part and you wanted to be connected to your phone, you could do it.
Could you explain how do you feel weather changes? I mean, can you say tomorrow is going to rain, or in 3 days it's going to rain, or it's going to snow? How do you feel those changes?
So the weather organ or the barometric organ I have now, it's not giving me the prediction of the weather. It's giving me the atmospheric conditions that are happening right now. So it's up to my brain at the end to do the forecast. So it's like a long process of learning about the inputs that you are receiving and the relation between these inputs and the weather conditions that are really happening.
Right.
So that's why we call this like artificial senses instead of artificial intelligence, because if the organ was giving me the weather forecast, for example, this would be artificial intelligence, because I don't need to think about what will be the forecast. But in my case, I'm having an artificial sense, because this is giving me like a new input that maybe with the experience, I will learn how the atmospheric pressure works, and I will be able of learning and predict the weather. By the moment in Barcelona, it's easier to me to predict it, because it's where I live, and it's where I'm used to these changes in the atmospheric pressure. So I've been able of predicting the storm like not many times, but maybe 10 since I have it.
Okay. You mentioned about art, so being a cyborg for you is an art because it's basically giving you the opportunity to expand your perception with the integration of new technology. Would you like maybe to expand a little bit more about your experience and the desire to expand your senses, pushing basically the biological boundaries of a human being?
Yeah, well, for me, being a cyborg is a kind of, let's say, like performance. I think I'm converting my life into my art piece, because for me it's like working on the creation of my new species, and I'm in the process of it. And also it's a way of connecting more myself. Nowadays we would need, or my case, I needed to feel more connected to nature and start a process of empathizing more with planet Earth, that I think this right now is passing by a crisis. And for me, becoming a cyborg, it's more like a process of creating myself and creating a deeper connection with nature, that I think that it's so important nowadays. Also.
Okay, and do you think that one day, I mean, it would be a possibility that actually cyborgs, they are going to take over humanity?
Over humanity? What do you mean?
I mean the current humanity. I mean, the world will be populated by cyborg rather than the human being without technology.
I think there will be more cyborgs, but I think there will be people of all kinds. So I don't think all the people will be cyborgs, or at least not all of them will identify themselves as cyborgs. I think we will see more diversity, but not more cyborgs like governing the world, like science fiction teaches.
Yeah, like we see in the movie. I mean, you brought up a very interesting point about diversity, which is, very interesting, and the freedom to shape your body based on what you want to be. We see, obviously, we still see some discrimination, inequality in society even if we are in the 20th century where, you know, this shouldn't be there and should be actually a free society, what do you think is the problem of our society?
The problem of our society, I think, yeah, respect, or the just don't like see the difference as a bad thing. I think that the difference in our society is just a good thing that we can learn from one to each other. I think that the best thing of our society is that we could be so different, and actually we are. So the two black men or two white men are not more like similar from, you know, the black man is the same different than the other black man than the other white man, because at the end the insight is the thing that it's, we are different in so many ways, not just, but these ones are super visible. And I think at the end we gather each other with these things, but we need to accept that we are very, very different, and no matter how different we are. So there's some differences. Well, I don't know, yeah. But this also happened with the species diversity right now. So we are killing lots of animals, for example, nowadays for our consume. And this is why we don't accept, for example, diversities in the species diversity. We see the human being as the center of all. And I think we should start accepting diversities, basically.
But why? What is holding on society to embrace this freedom of expression?
How again, please?
What is holding on the society? What is stopping society to accept this freedom of expression?
I don't know, I guess fear, because we are super, like, I don't know, I guess it's fear.
Yeah, probably is fear to not being able to control. Yeah, probably, I said probably is fear to not be able to control a different human being.
Yeah, basically not just to, well, we are like very like close-minded in some ways, and there's lots of diversities right now going on. So, for example, the transgender discourse is like nowadays more up to the other ones. For example, or this is becoming more normal to talk about transgender people. So transgender people is becoming more visible, like all the kind of strikes and things that are happening right now are more visible, or are being empowered by societies, by the society, basically. But I think we just need to learn a little bit about love, I think, and respect to the others, and living the other people.
Okay, coming back to perception and senses, I read a very powerful statement that you made that was basically saying that technology allow you to experience reality in a different way, which is real reality, and is very different from virtual reality or augmented reality. What I would like you to do, because this is a very interesting point, and I don't think many people do understand the difference, is to explain what is real reality and how is distinct from augmented reality and also virtual reality.
The difference is, meanwhile, in the VR or AR, virtual reality and artificial reality, you're like inventing things that are not really happening in front of you. And with revealed reality, what we are doing is just revealing a reality that already exists, that is around you, but you can't perceive it through your biological body. So through these new organs and senses that are cybernetic, you can reveal this reality that is already happening. In my case, I'm not inventing there's atmospheric pressure around me. There's atmospheric pressure around me, but before having this new organ, I wasn't able of perceiving it in this way. So I'm just augmenting my body, the boundaries of my body to be able of perceiving more things that are already happening around me that I wasn't able of perceive. So I'm just revealing a reality through this new organ.
There is, I would like to pick up your brain a little bit more on new technologies, because there is a lot going on in the neurotechnology space, neuroscience, and for example, we saw Elon Musk that invested over 100 million in a company called Neuralink that is developing a brain device that is going to facilitate communication between brains using the thoughts. What are your what are your ideas? What are your views about what is happening in the world and the use of technology?
I see, or I would comment, is that I think we all need to be free to decide to apply these new technologies in our body or not. So we don't have to be forced to implant new technologies in our bodies if we don't want. Yeah, at the end, I think that we will start seeing that technology will start merging with our physical level, with our body, basically, because we are already using our phones and all this stuff very close from our bodies, and we are already including them in our identity in a way, because we think we can talk with people around the world, but without the phone, we can't. So we are at the end including them in our kind of identity and abilities, but they are not yet inside our bodies, and we will start seeing this in the next decade, I guess.
Okay, Manel, last question. I mean, you speak at different conferences around the world. The next one is going to be in Prague in September, if I'm not wrong. And what is your aim? What are you trying to achieve sharing your experience?
I'm trying to tell the people that the world and us is the same thing. I'm trying to bring my experience of being more closer to nature to the people, basically. Because I think we're now in a moment that we need to take care of the earth and start seeing the earth as a different thing than us, and take action on the ecological crisis that we are passing by. So yeah, that's my aim, to try to make or increase the empathy to the planet, to our society. Yeah.
Anything in particular that you are going to focus for the September conference?
I'm working right now on the third prototype, the third version for the organ, and it will be like a couple of fins or wings that will allow me to perceive the weather in a deeper way, because I'm also on temperature and humidity, and there will be a couple of fins that will be implanted in each side of my head, and they will allow me to hear the weather and be more connected than now. So I think I will go deeper to this project.
Okay,
this is the one that I'm working.
So do you think you will be able to present these new organs at the TCE in Prague?
I'm not to present it.
To present yourself
no,
with
I don't think I have them.
Okay.
I won't have them, but I will talk about them, because I think it will be end for October or end of September.
Okay.
Yes.
I have got one
Yeah.
final question. Obviously, there are some risk, you know, in implanting something into the body. Obviously, maybe the body can reject a synthetic body. Maybe you can have long-term problems. Have you ever thought about this? And are you feeling anything with your organs?
Yeah, of course, it's something. The risk is something that is in there. There's some sports that have a risk. So this is an art that have a risk, and we're basically taking it because for me, create this project, design myself in this way, it's more exciting that the risk that could have. So yeah, I just will take the consequences if something goes bad.
Okay.
But yeah, of course, I know there's a risk.
But obviously, you will be working with professionals in the field, you know, surgery and.
Yeah.
All right.
For now, we need to open this path in a way for the people that will come and want to implant new organs, because like doctors or clinics that are being specialized in this practice in a way. And but when our work is also like find the doctors, like raise awareness about these new sectors in society. But I think it will be easier at the end. As with the transgender people also happened the same. At the end, they were passing by super difficult surgeries that at the beginning went bad, but now it's easier to do a transsexual surgery. And I think it will happen the same. We see like a parallelism with this.
Manel, thank you very much for being with us on the show, and I really hope to have you here with me in the studio very soon. So good luck with your new project.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me.
And this is everything from the Financial Fox today. I see you next time.